Say hi, guys.
Hi.
Wave. You're real. All right. Sit right there. So, my name is Martin Lowry. I'm a detective sergeant with Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. Today, I want to talk to you about strategy and safety while conducting police-related interviews. So, a little thing about me. I live here in Las Vegas. I've been a police sergeant for approximately 4 years. But let's go back to the beginning. So I became a police officer in 2008 and did most of my street time on the street, running and gunning, doing field interviews of this type for about that first 4 years. That's where I really learned my trade. This is important because I just want to show that I've done the job. I've done these types of things. And so I'm coming from a place of personal experience with it as opposed to just reading it from a police article. So the importance of that is I want to kind of just inform you guys today a little bit on why police stop people, why they encounter, how they can do it, strategies involved, and mainly safety. So after those 4 years, I did a couple of years at a plainclothes assignment, buying narcotics, dealing with informants, things of that nature. After those 2 years, I promoted to detective, where I was dealing mainly in violent crime. This is a time in our history in Las Vegas where the gang unit was actually not a thing anymore, and it went away. So I was primarily doing a lot of gang investigations, and that was everything from gathering gang intelligence, gang enforcement, or doing any kind of gang investigations. And primarily as a detective, that was my role, the latter. There was the investigations part. In those investigations, documenting people, coming in contact with them, getting intelligence was very important. And that's what I want to tell you a little bit about today. So let's dive a little bit into kind of what I'm talking about. So the police can stop you for mainly 3 reasons. There's a bunch of other ways and circumstances we could talk about, but I want to be more specific on police encounters. So if we're going to get stopped today in this day and age, it's going to be one of 3 reasons. The first is going to be a consensual encounter. Now, that is just an encounter where I can go up to you, talk to you, and do anything a regular citizen can. And the importance of that is that anybody can have a consensual encounter. You walking into a private business to buy something, that's consensual. Someone stopping you in the street and asking you a question, that's consensual. And it's essentially the same thing. Now, there are a couple of different factors that you have to kind of work into that when you're specifically talking about the police versus a citizen. And the instances that I'm talking about in that manner are the police have to make sure that if they want to consider an encounter consensual, it actually has to kind of flip that around a little bit. The citizen has to feel like it's consensual. So police can't turn on their lights and siren and order people to do anything. That's not consensual, of course. They can't have an overwhelming show of force where it's 10, 15 cops trying to talk to one person. That would make any reasonable person feel like they're not really able to leave. And that's really the key there. The second is reasonable suspicion. In Nevada, we have something what's called the 60-minute rule. It comes from a Nevada Supreme Court case that nuts and bolts of it is the police can only detain you up to 60 minutes under reasonable suspicion that you have been, are about to be, or did commit a crime. That's also important because, again, that's your second way to do that, but it's kind of heightening the level. And your third, of course, is probable cause. If the police have probable cause that you've committed a crime and they can arrest or cite you for it, they're going to stop you. So those are mainly the 3 ways that you can be talked to by the police. Now, the important thing and the reason I want to talk to you about strategy and safety is the first part of strategy when you talk about police encounters is how I want to talk to this person. Do I want to be polite? Do I want to be aggressive? And the best way you want to do that is to be polite, gather all the intelligence that you can. And the reasons that field interviews are important is because you're basically documenting intelligence to be used at a later date. That phone number that you take from this person you're talking to today, when they commit a murder 3 years from now, you can use that to track them down. That address that they put on there, that they give to you just by talking to you on the street, maybe somewhere you can go find them if they commit a crime later on down the road. That nickname that they tell you they have may come up in a street robbery and the person says, oh, this person with this nickname committed that robbery, and you can use that intelligence. So it's important. The safety aspect is extremely important as well when you talk about safety. There have been multiple instances of police officer assaults as a result of poor strategy and safety while conducting interviews. Hopefully that kind of hits home for a lot of people, is because cops go out there every day and do these types of interviews. It could be just stopping someone in the street and asking them how their day is, and that can turn to a deadly force encounter pretty fast if you're not careful. So safety is paramount. If you want to take anything away from what I want to talk about today, especially just informing you on how these things occur, how you're encountered, and what the police might ask you about, safety and strategy is kind of exactly what I want to talk about. There's different types of situations where you'd be interviewing people. The first would be in an interview room. That's going to be a static setting. Again, there are certain caveats and rules to that, and you want to make sure that if you're being interviewed as a citizen, that you feel like you can leave. You feel you're being awarded the opportunity to leave. You're not locked in a room. All those will come towards being consensual. Of course, if you're under arrest, different circumstance, but hopefully not. The overall concept today that I want to convey to you is that police encounters are common. There are rules behind them. There is strategy behind them, and there is safety that is involved with them. And again, just to kind of hit that point home, there have been multiple instances of police officer assaults not only in Las Vegas during normal, pleasant encounters, but just across the nation, which have resulted in people being assaulted or dying. So again, if you're going to take anything away from this speech today, it's just so you understand that it's a dangerous job. You have rights as citizens to leave when you want to under consensual encounters, even in certain circumstances, under reasonable suspicious encounters. If you're under arrest, you have the right to remain silent, and you have the right to be before an attorney. So lastly, as a citizen, know that police are going to use certain strategies with you. Know that police are going to use certain safety measures. Don't be offended by that. And that's all that I have. Hopefully, I could leave everybody today with a little bit of good information. Thank you. Bye.